These are the plaintiffs, Janice Daniels and her niece Jessica. Janice says the defendant needed a favor, so Jessica lent her a prepaid food charge card, and the woman spent every penny on the card, leaving them with nothing. The conniving woman took advantage of her niece's generosity, and she won't stand by and allow her to get away with it, so they're suing for $350, the money they're owed. This is the defendant, Chanel Lester. She says they all went shopping together, and since they all live together, she doesn't see what the problem is. Ever since, the plaintiffs have been harassing her, even got in her face and threatened to beat her up. Some people. She's accused of taking advantage big time. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $400 for harassment.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff gave the defendant a food charge card and the defendant took her for a ride. But the defendant said they all live together, so the argument makes no sense. It's the case of food fight.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Janice and Jessica Daniels, you are suing Chanel Lester for $350 that you say is owed on food stamps. You have a counterclaim against them for $400 for harassment. What's going on?
Okay, on March 13th, my niece came to me and said that...
Is this your niece?
Yes, this is Jessica. She came to me, we live together. So she came to me and said her friend wanted to use her card to go to the grocery store. I didn't say...
Her card being?
EBT card.
Which is?
Food stamps.
Food stamps, okay.
What happened was Jessica had just gotten approved for her food stamps, so she had like retroactive pay. So she asked her if she can use the card, and Jessica said okay. Like, we was like, no problem.
Why is that? I mean, the food stamps are for Jessica. Jessica, why are you letting somebody else use it?
I mean, because she asked me to use it, I said yeah.
So if I ask you nicely, will you let me use it all?
Yeah,
Really?
not all of it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm being generous, I'll let you use it.
So you were being generous. It's not because you felt like you owed her anything.
Oh, no.
Okay, so go ahead.
So she let her, use the card.
Why were you telling me this? You're the aunt?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you tell me what's going on?
Well, I let Chanel use the card because, I mean, we friends or sisters, rather we consider each other sisters, so I let her use it because she asked me to use it, but I didn't know that she was going to use all of it. I went to
How much
stuff
did you
for
think
her.
she was going to use?
I mean, not all of it.
Well, what did you tell her she could use when you let her use
I didn't tell
food
her an
stamps
amount.
that the government intended for your use
Yeah.
and not hers?
Yeah, but I had, like, a lot. It was a lot, like, too much. Kinda. It was backed up for months and months, so.
How do you not get killed when you cross the street? Seriously. How much did you tell her that she could use?
I didn't tell her an amount.
So any amount she used was okay with you?
Yeah, but not intentionally the whole thing, like not everything. But the
What do
first
you
time
say physically when you hand her your card?
Chanel, you could use the card.
You don't say how much she could use?
No.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, I went to school and I let her use it, and she came back and I asked her, I was like, so how much left? And she was like, ain't nothing left. Like, and I was like, oh, okay. So I gave her this like expression, like my aunt going like black out, whatever. She's like, all right, well.
Why does your aunt black out when you don't?
I mean, because my thing is, to me, well, at that time, it wasn't like that big of a deal to me.
At that moment, it's not a problem. The only problem you're having is that when you get home, your aunt's going to be angry, okay? Because I guess your aunt is expecting that card's going to help buy groceries for the house you're living in.
Yeah.
Instead of for your friend. How old are you?
20.
So you go home and then you tell your aunt. Your aunt says, where's the card, right?
No,
aunt?
she was just like.
When she came in, I knew that they had just finished shopping, so I asked her how much was left on the card, and she was like, she spent it all. I was like, what do you mean she spent it all? It was like $650-something. So I was just like, okay, we're gonna have to talk with her because it's not right. Like, we can't deal with that.
So go ahead.
That Friday, I went to Chanel's house, and my niece was already there. I guess she was going there to let her know that I was coming. So I went there with my cousin, and I told her, we need to talk. So I asked her, I said, you couldn't have possibly thought that you could take everything. Like, she lives with me, her son lives with me. We live together,
Whose son lives with you?
Jessica.
Jessica has a son?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm talking to her, and I'm like, you just like took food out of everybody's mouth in the house. She was like, well, I do apologize. I get money on Tuesday, and I'll give you a call and I'll give you something back. So we're trying to discuss what's getting back. She mentioned that she would get back $250. I said, honey, that's not gonna work. So she said, well, I could give you $350. I'll get money on Tuesday. I'll give you a call, and we'll take care of it like that. I said, okay, fine. I took her phone number, and I told her I would give her a call. She was like, well, I know you be running around a lot. Jessica told me you do a lot of things. If you want, I'll give the money to Jessica. I said, no, you give the money to me.
Why? It's not your food stamps.
Because she was going to, she did what she
you don't
just
trust
did.
Jessica, because Jessica's the one saying, sure, yeah, go have at it.
Exactly.
Have fun, go nuts.
Exactly. And I know she wasn't going to follow it up.
What's going on?
Okay, most of the story was true. Jessica is my brother's girlfriend. She's been staying with me, her and her son, 4 to 5 days out the week, continuously. Her son is not in daycare. He eats, sleeps, everything with me.
How old's the son?
He's 2. He's a part of the family. Jessica's like my sister. So she told me that she was staying there because my brother was there, and her aunt was charging her rent to live in a subsidized apartment. So she was at my house for free from December until April.
So she wasn't paying the aunt rent?
She was, no, because she was staying with me. So she, in the conversations, because I'm taking.
So you're both laying claim to Jessica's food stamps? Is that what you're doing?
No. What happened was, she see me paying everything out of pocket. She says, oh, Chanel, I get food stamps. You can have my food stamps when I get it. So I spent $5 out of her food stamps. And I paid
what?
$500 out of her food stamps.
What did she tell you could spend?
She told me that I could spend her food stamps. There was no set thing. She said, Chanel, because she actually had more than that. She had about like $700, $800. She said, Chanel, you could use my food stamps since I've been living with you for free. So what happened was I spent it. Friday comes. At 10 p.m. at night, Jessica came to my house, because she always come. I come in my living room, there's 2 people in my living room. I've never met Jessica's aunt before. I never met this other lady she was with. They were sitting in my living room at 10 at night, telling me that they feel as though I took advantage of Jessica. I said, okay, well, I'll give you something, just trying to school her out of my house.
Did you ever say to her, lady, she lives in my house 4 to 5 days a week?
Yes, I told her, and when I was talking to her, I said...
and according to you, she says no such thing. Does your niece live there 4 to 5 days a week?
No, ma'am.
How often are you staying at that house?
It was about 4 days a week.
So if you have a food card, a food stamp card, are you allowed to give those food stamps to somebody else to use?
I don't believe it's legal, but I defer to you, Harvey. You're the lawyer.
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you guys. What do you think? I mean, does it make sense? Do you think you can?
I don't think you should. I think it's pretty illegal, but...
I think you should be able to.
Why?
If somebody else is hungrier than you are, they need it more.
I'm not sure that charity is necessarily the operative thing here, but we'll find out. Going inside the courtroom.
Are you suing her, or did you just get added to this lawsuit recently?
I wasn't suing Chanel.
Okay, you're the one who was suing Chanel.
Yes.
Because of the conversation we had. Let me clear something up.
And then you tell her, okay, I'll give you $350. Why do you say that?
No, I didn't say I gave her $350. I said, okay, well, I'll give you something, just to school her out of my house, because it is 10 at night and she came with women.
How much did you tell her you'd give her?
I told her I was going to give her $250. She said, no, that's not enough. I want $350. She called. She left messages on my phone. She kept calling. After that, and Jessica could attest to it.
Well, I mean, okay, but what she kept calling because you had said you were going to return at least $250, and did you?
No. What happened was Jessica later that night said, Chanel, I'm not making a big deal about the food stamps. It's my food stamps. You don't have to give her anything. And that's Jessica's exact words. So because it belongs to Jessica, I said, okay, well, Jessica, you said that.
Did you tell her that?
I told her that, but she said she was gonna give her the money. I said that because I don't want to make a big deal out of anything. I mean, I felt as though it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was because...
Jessica, you know what? There comes a time in every woman's life where she's got to put her big girl panties on.
Yeah.
And this is that moment for you, my friend.
All right.
Are you suing her or aren't you? Are you suing your boyfriend's sister, who you spend 4 days a week at her house, because she inappropriately used up too much of your food stamps?
No.
No. You, Ant, have no right to sue her for Jessica's food stamps. Jessica's decided to drop the case against her on your counterclaim because someone's trying to collect money you said you would give them. No. 0 on your counterclaim, 0 on this.
So no award to the plaintiffs, no case really, because you, as the judge says, have no right to sue on Jessica's behalf. And why'd you decide to drop your charge?
I mean, I was never suing her.
No?
I was never suing her. It was my aunt because she helps me out and everything.
Okay. How are you with what went down here with Jessica's position now?
She'll learn from it. So
You think she's making a mistake?
She made a lot of mistakes, but it's not a personal thing. That's my niece. You know, I'm still going to do what I got to do for her. She'll learn.
All right. All right. Right down there. Okay. All right. So come on in here, and so you realize that it's not harassment when they're trying to collect money that you said you owed them.
You know, I can understand it, what the judge was saying, but I'm glad that she see how outlandish the suit was against me.
Mm-hmm. What went through your mind when the judge put it to Jessica and you heard her change her mind there and not go through with this?
Jessica didn't go through it in the first place, so I still have no hard feelings against Jessica at all. She's still like a sister to me.
She's still living at your?
No, she's not.
Not anymore?
No. No. That's all I'm gonna say. No.
Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, well, I am a lawyer, and I can answer this question. Only people in your household are allowed to use your food stamps. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.